What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, and I wanted to hop on and share a few tips and tricks and give you guys some resources and a few thoughts that I think will help you all as you continue forward through the rest of this year and as we enter into 2025. I think there's some things that are coming up for us, some changes collectively, that will make this information, beneficial for all of us, right? So the first thing I want to say is, obviously, if you're here and you're watching this video, my assumption is that you probably watch tarot. You're probably into spirituality, that type of thing. Now, if you're somebody new and you're coming across my channel for the first time, or you're getting into tarot readings for the first time, I just want to say welcome. And even better if you're new, because then hopefully the information in this video will spare you a lot of time and heartache and just some mistakes that people might be making when they watch readings, or if you get readings, or just understanding, what the craft is all about and how you can actually benefit from it, right? Because just like with anything in life, there is always kind of like a negative side to it, And anytime that we give our power away to something, anytime that we are not owning our own, taking control of our life, taking responsibility of our life, and we're giving our power away to things outside of ourselves, then that's where we tend to encounter issues, right? And we see this collectively in, I guess some common examples would be things like politics. Right? When people choose a side in politics, they're giving away their power to tribalism and politicians, and, just the illusion that, politics is the answer or is going to solve problems, right? The same thing with religion. You give your power away to religion and traditions and rules, or believing that there is this external God out there in the cosmos somewhere, who's kind of like a Santa Claus. He's watching everything you do, and he's keeping track of all your sins. And if you don't do exactly what he wants, then you're going to get in trouble, or maybe you're going to spend eternity in damnation or in hell, but if you do what he says, you're going to go to heaven, and then, we could go further and further and further, like whether it's the education system, right? Well, if you follow the education system, you do exactly what society tells you in regards to the education system, then you'll graduate college, you'll get a degree, and then your degree will give you the pathway to prosperity, right? There's so many methods for us, so many traps for us to fall into in life, where we can give our power away to things on a macro level, which again could be these institutions that I've referred to. They can be on a micro level, right? On an individualistic level. So for example, if you give your power away to another person in a relationship, right? That could look like codependency, a trauma bond, a parent, a guardian, a friend, or a lover, or a husband, or a spouse, or even a child, right? Then we start to rely upon that person to be our source of strength, our source of peace, our source of happiness, our source of fulfillment in life. And if that person doesn't show up for us in life the way that we want them to or need them to, then we feel powerless to experience fulfillment or happiness, and so on, right? The same thing could go with a job. You go to work every day, and if you feel like without this job, or without listening to your boss, or following the rules, or doing these things, then it's like, well, then I can't pay my bills and I'll never be happy, right? So there's this illusion of powerlessness, or what I call the powerless epidemic. The powerless pandemic really is one of the main issues that we have as human beings, because we've been conditioned this way in society. We've been conditioned to trust, put our trust and our faith and our hope, and our power and our beliefs in these systems that rest outside of ourselves, where very few people understand who they are, what your personal power is, how do you operate in your personal power, how to not give your power away, and basically how to tap into your true talents, gifts, and go out into the world and create the life and fulfillment that you desire, right? And that's what true spirituality is all about. Spirituality is just you going within, discovering that you have all the tools and resources, all the power, everything you need. You essentially have, you're a fractal of what the cosmos, God, source, universe is, right? So everything that we would call God, source, the universe, whatever you believe that infinite force is, the entirety of that force exists in you already, right? Just like if you go out to the ocean and you take a drop of water out of the ocean, the entirety of the ocean is in that drop. And then if you squeeze that drop of water back into the ocean, you can't find that drop anymore. You can't tell, okay, out of all of the water that's in the ocean, let me identify where what that drop of water is. Where is it? It's not, you can't identify anymore. The minute that drop hits the ocean, it's immediately absorbed back into the entirety of the ocean. And so that's kind of what we are. We are a drop, an individual expression of the infinite. And the beauty of that is it means that within us, we contain everything that the infinite is already, right? Now, and that's a little bit more of like kind of like a philosophical representation, right, of that concept. So as we move forward into 2025, a few things that I just want to mention as I get to my point here in the video is, one, we are moving out of an 8 universal year. I'll be talking about this more as we get closer to the end of the year. This is numerology, right? It's a cycle. We start at 1, which is a beginning, a 9-year cycle, to be clear. We start at a 1 year, and then we move through all the way to the 9th year, which is an endings, wrapping things up, closing things out to get ready for a whole new 9-year cycle. And so it's 2024. When you add 2024 up, 2 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. We are in an 8 universal year. So we're about to move into a 9 universal year. So we're about to close out an entire 9-year cycle. So I guess, 2014, 2015 would have been when this cycle began. So not only that, we did have, just recently, we had another kind of big change. We had Pluto that just moved into Aquarius, moved out of Capricorn, moved into Aquarius, which it'll be for the next 20 years. Now, for those of you who aren't super big into astrology, I mean, I'm slowly but surely learning about it. I'm certainly no astrology expert, but Pluto is the planet of transformation. So you could think of it as the death card in tarot or the tower card, right? And of course, obviously there's Google. So Pluto has quite a transformative effect on anything, right? And it's known as a generational planet. And the reason is because Pluto is way, way, way out in the solar system, and it takes a much longer time for it to make an entire, to basically make a full cycle around the sun, right? Whereas planets like Mars, and Venus and Mercury are much closer to the sun, and they move around the planet. They move around the sun rather much quicker. Hence why we have 2 Mercury retrogrades roughly a year, because Mercury is moving around the sun very quickly. And so, so we have that going on, right? And so, one of the things that we can expect as we move into 2025. One of the first things that we can expect is there's going to be a lot more, there's going to be somewhat of like a great awakening. And I made a separate video of this on a separate channel of mine, but it should be posted on this channel as well. It's a much longer video, and it's not really, it's not like a tarot video. It's just me explaining, how cycles work, and basically my prediction of what the next 20 to 30 years is going to look like under this new energy of Pluto and Aquarius. Well, one of those things is going to be a mass spiritual awakening. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to start having spiritual awakenings, probably maybe more than we've seen in a really long time. This can be a good thing, and this can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing because the more people that are spiritually awake means the less power that we're feeding into the matrix, which is the lies, the bullshit, the programming, the conditioning, the institutions, the systems, and all the things that are basically tearing humanity apart. and creating negativity and creating disruption, creating, discord and fighting and disagreements, right? The things that are pulling us apart in humanity is all the programming of the matrix. It's being asleep, right? You don't have that awareness. You don't have the ability to understand who you are, why you're here, what makes you unique and different in this world, right? You're just a cookie cutter program tax ID person who believes what, everyone's taught to believe. You grow up, you go to school, you get a degree, you get the white picket fence house, you grind and grind and grind. You put, your money goes into your 401k if you get, that kind of job. And then maybe you have kids, maybe your kids have grandkids, maybe you become a grandparent, you're retired, then you die. And you take a couple trips to Disneyland, right? So, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the people that are living that lifestyle. Some people incarnate just to be in the matrix. Some people didn't come here to know about their past lives and all of that. They just wanted to come here and have an earthly experience and not know anything else. But for many people, there's a lot of people who did come here to undergo a spiritual awakening. And there's many of you out there who have spiritual gifts. You're becoming, starting to become aware of your own, where you stand in all of this spiritually. And a lot of you probably have been noticing and feeling these changes. In fact, some of you, I would say, started your journey back in 2020. To me, that was kind of like the precursor to it all. When the world, we all kind of went into quarantine, all that stuff was happening, that was a big wake up for a lot of people, right? And we're about to go into 2025 and we're about to start another season of awakening. And what I'm not saying is that we're going to go through something major again to trigger that. I'm just saying that the energy in general is going to be conducive for a mass spiritual awakening. And so for a lot of you out there, who are familiar with my channel, or maybe you've come and you've joined me for a live tarot reading. A lot of you, this has been coming out in your readings and your live readings, right? And it's going to continue to come out for many of you. So if you're stumbling across this video and you've listened to it this far, and you're like, yeah, I do feel like something is changing in my life. I do feel like something is awakening inside of me. I don't know what it is, or I feel like there was something that I know that I should have been doing, or I've wanted to do for a really long time. I just haven't had the courage to step out and do it. Starting a business, starting a spiritual business, using your spiritual gift, or taking, something that you've learned, and, taking it more seriously, whether it's tarot, whether it's healing, whether it doesn't even have to be a traditional spiritually related thing. It doesn't have to be like, Reiki or meditation or tarot cards or those types of things. It could be anything, anything can be spiritual. It doesn't have to fit in the spiritual container that we traditionally think of spirituality as being. Anything can be spiritual. You can go out and you can create a business that has nothing to do with spirituality, and that can still be a spiritual business, right? It's all about the intention and the motive and basically the mission or the drive behind what you're doing that makes something spiritual or not, right? So that's the first thing, is we're about to move into a time of change. There's going to be a lot of spiritual awakening happening with a lot of people, which means there's going to be a lot more people who sense the spiritual awakening, but they're not going to know kind of really what to do. They're not really going to understand it, because the spiritual journey, let's be real, is very confusing at times. And there's not very many people who actually help teach or guide people on that journey. There's a few people out there that you might consider being kind of like a spiritual expert. You have the Sadhgurus out there, and you have the deep throat chakras out there. You have the, you have the Eckhart Tolles, you have these people out there who, they talk about spiritual concepts and they have a lot of spiritual knowledge, but it's still just information. It's not very organized a lot of the times. It's not like, okay, I'm brand new at this and I have no idea where to go or what to do, or how to start or how to make it into something practical and useful or something empowering instead of just a bunch of generalized knowledge that you go out and you grab hold of, like, okay, well, I learned a little bit about astrology this, a little bit about tarot that, and a little bit over here about this. And you have all this knowledge and information, but it's not really helping you, right? And information alone is not going to transform anything. So if your life isn't changing, no matter how much spiritual information you ingest, then in my opinion, it's pointless. I mean, cool, you know a lot of stuff, you got a lot of spiritual knowledge, maybe you go to the crystal stores or the metaphysical shops and you buy a bunch of spiritual jewelry, you get some spiritual tattoos, you buy some tarot cards, you decorate your room, you burn incense, and, you do yoga and you meditate, and it's like, that doesn't make you spiritual. I'm sorry. You're playing dress up. You're playing Barbie, right? Essentially, that has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality is something that transforms you from the inside out. A lot of people who play spiritual Barbie, they're the same person. Sure, again, you can dress up, you can look the part, you can have the tattoos, you can have the tarot cards, you can talk the language, you can know the astrology, you can have all the things. But if your life isn't changing, if your life is essentially the same as it was before, you've just changed the look, you've got more knowledge, and I would say one of the bigger components, the more important components, is if it's all just self-focused, then it's not true spirituality. True spirituality, the purpose of us learning and going within ourselves, is so that once we, work with or achieve or deal with whatever we need to when we go inside of ourselves, whether it's healing trauma, healing past wounds, or just figuring out who we are by discovering ourselves and discovering our gifts and talents, the next step of the spiritual journey is taking all of that we've figured out or discovered, bringing it outside of us, and then going out into the world to give away what we found inside of ourselves. It's contribution. Contribution is the key to true spirituality. Growth and contribution are the keys to spirituality. Your personal growth that changes you, but then the way you contribute to the collective to help the collective change. So if whatever spiritual work that you're doing is not something that's in essence going to go out and benefit the collective, then I question that it's truly spiritual at all. And I'm not saying that there isn't a time where, as you are going inside, you're going within and you're learning about yourself. Sure, there's a time where you may not be contributing outside of yourself to the collective. That's the time that's meant for you to go within, right? It's like the Hermit card in tarot. It's introspection, going within, introspecting, learning about yourself, soul searching, figuring all that out. And then once you've done that, then it's, you go into the next part of the journey, which is I'm coming out now with my treasure and my gifts to give and serve the world with. So you can't, if it always just stays in introspective mode, or if it just stays on superficial spiritual Barbie mode, then to me, that's just fake spirituality, right? That's just like going to the tattoo shop and getting, a tattoo of the zodiac on your body, wearing a bunch of crystals and saying, I'm spiritual. Well, no, you're not. That's just getting tattoos and getting crystals, and calling it spiritual. That's not true spirituality. I'm sorry. True spirituality is it changes you, and then it goes out and it helps change the collective. And so the reason that I'm talking about this specifically is not to be an asshole, but it's basically for us to maybe start taking this seriously, because there's a lot of people. There's a saying in the Bible. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And so with so many people that I truly sense are about to go through this spiritual awakening, we need more people out here who understand what true spirituality is, which on one hand is a blessing for those of you who feel called, because that's just saying, hey, now maybe in the past, when spirituality wasn't being taken so seriously, and people blew it off and, oh, that's woo-woo, that's, whatever. And people didn't take this stuff very seriously. And it was a lot harder in the past to make a living doing something you were passionate about. Well, that's about to change. So for those of you who feel like you have a spiritual calling on your life, this is good news, because it means, hey, we need more workers. We need more light workers, more spiritual workers, more people who understand what true spirituality is, because there's a need that's about to present itself And we don't have enough people to meet, the need that's coming, essentially. So we need the workers, but two, again, the benefit is it's going to benefit you all, because that means that for the first time, many of you are going to be able to pursue your spiritual passions, whatever that is for you, and you'll actually be able to do it and make a living off of it and do it full time, because there's just going to be so many people that need direction, they need help, they need assistance in that regard, right? So the last thing that I wanted to share before I close this video, close out this video, is I want to talk to. I just want to give you guys some advice. And I've spoken a little bit about this before on my video. I probably have maybe one or two other videos on my channel that are of a similar vein, but it's not, falling into the trap of giving your power away to tarot readings, right? So first of all, let's just talk about what these cards are, right? So these are just pieces of paper, cardboard, that have artwork on them, right? And you can learn what the meanings of the cards are. There is a system to it. And then, of course, you can apply your intuition to it. And these cards become a medium. Anything can be used as a medium, by the way. They used dice back in the day. They would use sticks. They would use objects and paint them certain colors, and they'd roll them on the ground, or they would swing them, right? Here's another medium, another famous medium, a pendulum, right? You can use a pendulum and a board, right? Is this pendulum, first of all, this isn't a real crystal, and this is just a metal chain. Now, I could literally get a necklace off my wall. For example, I've got this necklace here. I could use this as a pendulum. There's nothing special or fancy about this. There's no difference. This necklace is no more powerful, no more special, no more magical than this pendulum, right? I proved this concept by actually getting some fishing string, like, that you use on a fishing pole. And I got a little fishing weight, and I tied the fishing string to the weight, and then I created my own pendulum. And it works exactly the same, because again, it's not the object that has power. You are the one who has power. Hence the Magician card. This to me is the most important archetype and card within tarot, because we are the person who has all the power. That's why the infinity symbol is over the crown chakra of the magician and not over the table with the objects. That's very important. We are the ones who make these objects powerful. We are the ones who have the power to create, to manifest. We are the people that are in control and in power, right? So when it comes to cards, same thing. I can create my own cards. My handwriting is terrible, but these are just handwritten cards. There's nothing special. These were blank cards bought on Amazon. I wrote messages on them, and I can use them the same way that I use tarot cards. They're no more special. They're no more magical. They're no more woo-woo. It's not the cards that are magical or powerful. It's you. You are the conductor. You are the force that makes these inanimate objects powerful or not powerful. Let's take a look at one more interesting device. We have what are called dowsing rods, right? So just pieces of metal. They have a little handle, and it allows the rod to swivel by itself, right? And you can hold these rods, and you can ask a question, and these rods will swing to give you an answer. Now, I can go into my closet, and I can get a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger. I can cut the metal coat hanger in half. I can bend the wires, and it's obviously those old school coat hangers. They have the cardboard, the cardboard hanger part, and you can hold those like handles, and you've just created dowsing rods. You don't have to go to a metaphysical store and buy some magical rods. You don't have to get on Amazon. It's just a piece of metal, right? So my point in saying this is people who watch tarot reading and think that that the cards are some type of magical force that are telling you what's going to happen. Okay? And I'm not saying that they can't. Tarot cards are great at predicting energy, right? And we are the energy readers, by the way. The person who's using all of these tools that I just showed you is the energy reader. The energy comes through us and affects the tools. The tools are not affecting me. I affect the tools. I'm the one who activates the power of these tools. It's my energy. It's my energetic field. This is proven by science, by the way. So when you get a reading, if you're just focused on predictions, then you're completely misunderstanding this system. And I'm not saying that there isn't a time where getting, wanting a predictive tarot reading is bad. There are certainly times, if you have a major decision to make, it might be good to get an opinion. It's like, okay, well, if I make this decision, if I go, you have a choice between two jobs, or a choice between maybe buying two houses or buying two cars, or, a choice between choosing a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You have you're out dating, and it's like, well, I'm dating, I went on a date with this person. I went on a date with this person. Which person is going to treat me right? Which person is more in alignment with me? Which person is going to be the better option for me? Which car, which house? There are times when tarot can be beneficial in terms of helping us predict things in life, right? However, in my experience, what most people do is they give their power away to it. And then they become tarot obsessed, right? And you're just addicted. You're watching a reading, you watch another reading, you watch another reading, and you end up kind of hypnotizing yourself and programming your mind. It's like, well, this past person's coming back, this past person's coming back, this past person's coming back, a new love, or something about money. And what it ends up doing is it creates apathy. It creates inaction, because now you're just waiting for this thing to happen, because all these tarot readers are saying, oh, well, this is going to happen. This is what's coming up for you. This is what's coming up for you. And I'm not saying that there isn't a small percentage, chance that it could, right? I mean, the odds of being struck by lightning are very, very slim, but it does happen. People do get struck by lightning. The odds of winning the lottery are very small, but people do win the lottery. So I'm not saying that you can't get a freebie from the universe, as I like to call it. Sometimes you get blessed for nothing. The stars in the heavens shine upon you. You get you win the raffle. You win the thing. You get a rebate. You get some extra money. You just bump into the man or the woman of your dreams at the grocery store in the veggie aisle, right? There are stories like that. Life is full of stories where things just happen and you weren't doing anything to receive it or deserve it. But the percentage, statistically and practically, the percentages of that happening are extremely small. So this is the way that we're meant to live our life. You create your fulfillment. You go out and you create your reality, right? So for those of you who are watching tarot readings, because again, I don't want you guys to move into 2025 just embracing more powerless thinking, more powerless patterns, doing more powerless things that are giving you powerless results, and your life isn't changing. You're not getting what you want. You're not getting the man or the woman of your dreams. You're not finding fulfillment. You're not getting the career. You're not, whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you want to manifest, you want to create, whatever you want your life to be like, right? It's important for you to know that it's up to us. We're the magician. We have all the tools, the power, and the resources to create, to co-create with the universe. That's why this, the infinity symbol is above the crown chakra. It's representing that we co-create. Here are the elements given to us. Here's the wand indicating that we have the power. And it's the universe, God's source of the universe, who helps us by co-creating that with us, meaning we have a part of the responsibility is ours to do, and a part of the responsibility is the universe's to do. And the part that's the universe's to do are just the laws that already exist, right? The laws of cause and effect. Meaning if you get up and you go use your power and you go use your talents, your skills, your abilities, and you go after the things you want in life, then the universe has laws that are there to assist you, back you up, principles, laws, all these things that are going to come behind you and help you get the effect for the cause. You are the cause. The universe creates the effect, right? That's how this works. And so, instead of wasting time watching regurgitated tarot readings and these things, this, that, and the other, and again, I don't have a problem with that, but there's just a better way to do it, which is to go out and co-create the life that you want. Take the power back into your hands and know that if you don't, then you probably won't get what you want. You'll probably be sitting here and it'll be 2026 or approaching 2026 and nothing in your life has changed. You're still single, you're still broke, you're still wishing, you're still hoping, and your life hasn't changed. Because you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for what? When the universe is waiting for you or waiting for us to do our part so that it can help us and assist us by doing its part. That's how this works. And if you do it that way, what you're going to realize with, when you start watching tarot readings, not that you probably will need to, because eventually you're just going to manifest the things that you've been wanting, and you're going to be so busy enjoying the things that you've manifested, enjoying your fulfillment. You're not going to care about watching tarot readings anymore. You're going to be living your life and enjoying your life, not spending all your hours on YouTube, trying to grab onto hope that your life is somehow going to change by watching these tarot readings, because essentially that's why people get addicted and obsessed with the readings, is because it's giving them a glimmer of hope. It's giving them something to hold on to, that maybe their life will be better instead of going out and making it better, right? That's the difference. But for those of you that maybe, you're still passionate about tarot, even though you start manifesting and creating your dream life, well, what you're going to notice is that the tarot readings will start to change. They'll become even more accurate, because you'll be like, oh, wow, this system of predicting is very accurate. But what you don't hear most tarot readers encouraging or telling their viewers is that, hey, there's a part of this that you have to do. If you just listen to this reading and you're just, oh man, I'm just listening and, this reading resonates with me, but then nothing happens. This reading resonates with me, but nothing happens. And you find yourself again and again and again and again and again, nothing's really changing or happening. And again, there's always going to be that one or two people where there's an exception. Lightning can strike, as I mentioned before. But for the majority of you out there, you're watching them, your reading resonates, but nothing changes. It's because there's something that you have to go do to make that thing happen, right? You have to go out and contribute to the effect that you want to have happen. Because remember, you're the cause. The universe will give you an effect. When you take action, you create a cause. The universe rewards you with the effect, the reward, the thing that you're after. So just keep this in mind as you move forward, because, I've been guilty of this. When I first started learning this and I first started watching tarot readings, I got caught in the trap of just waiting for things to happen. I'm like, okay, well, the reader says this, or I'd get a personal reading and the reading would say, oh, it looks like something, there are these opportunities of things that could be occurring for you. And I knew they resonated with me because there were parts of the reading that were very accurate, but the final outcome never happened because I didn't do anything different. I'm still living the same, rat race, merry-go-round, Groundhog's Day life. I wasn't making any changes in order for those things to become a reality, right? And that's how this works. Everything is energy. You are energy. You are energy. Your dreams are energy. Your goals are energy. Your money is energy. Your relationship is energy. Everything is energy. We are the people who create using energy. That's all we are. We are energy manipulators. That's what the magician is. You, me, everybody, we are just energy manipulators. We're just manipulating energy into forms that are fulfilling for us, right? And that's what alchemy is, the spiritual concept of alchemy, turning lead into gold. It's a metaphor for saying, hey, you can change one form of energy into another form. Whatever your desire is, that desire is a form of energy, Ace of Wands, right? You transform that Ace of Wands that's on the table. Here's the one right there. Transform that Ace of Wands into something real. It's a metaphor. You have an emotion, the cup, right? Transform that emotion, and your emotions are energy. Transform that emotion into something that's tangible. Same thing with the pentacles. Pentacles are anything tangible, anything in the physical world that you can interact with your five senses. That's energy. Transform it into something tangible. Same thing with the swords. Your thoughts and your voice, your speech. Create. It's all energy. Create something tangible from that sword energy. That's what all this is. And then you have, of course, the fifth element. These are the four elements, and there's the fifth element, which is spirit. Right? That's how this is supposed to work, guys. So as you move forward, as you continue to watch tarot readings, or however, whatever your process is in regards to that, I would just ask you to maybe just consider this as a different perspective of what you could maybe do or try if you're not getting the results that you desire by ingesting tarot or any of your spiritual practices, really. Because remember, it's not just about tarot. If you study astrology and you're super fired up and passionate about astrology, but your life hasn't really changed as a result of all your astrological knowledge, this is why. This is why your life isn't changed. If you're super passionate about energy healing or Reiki or whatever the thing is that you're super passionate about, but your life really hasn't changed, then this is probably why. Because you have to take responsibility and take action. There's a part that you have to do, that we all have to do in order to make those things become a reality. They're not just going to show up for us, at least not for most of us. Now, again, you might get lucky, you might win the lottery, or you might get struck by lightning, right? I mean, it happens, right? Hopefully you won't be struck by lightning. Hopefully you will win the lottery. I hope you do, and I hope that I hear about it. And if you're one of those lucky people, that's amazing. It does happen. But for the rest of us, the 99.9% of the rest of us, unfortunately, we have to be the magician and we have to go and create our fulfillment, right? So I know this video was a little long and maybe parts of it were a little redundant, but it's very important, again, for us to understand this and implement it so that we can actually create the changes that we want to see in our lives, so that we can get the fulfillment, we can get, accomplish our dreams, our goals, manifest our desires, and have all the things. But also, again, more importantly, so that we can also benefit those around us. Because remember, it's not just about what we get out of it. It's not just our own selfishness and selfish desires being fulfilled that makes spirituality spiritual. It's contribution, right? And if you're practicing true spirituality, then you, by nature, will feel a desire to go out into the world and either be a teacher, a healer, or start a business or contribute. There's something inside of you where you will feel compelled and urged to go out and contribute to the collective. That is what true spirituality is. So if you found this video helpful or any content on my channel helpful, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. Stay tuned for more readings. Hit the bell notification icon. Come join me for a free live tarot reading. I'm continually trying to change and improve the way that I serve you all at this channel, so that you're not just at another predictive tarot reading type of channel. There's plenty of those out there. I don't need to be another one. But really, I want to contribute to you all and share knowledge that I have learned in spirituality, as well as in life coaching and relationships and just many other things, and start to share that information with you all so you can transform your lives, right? And then you're not just a viewer or being entertained by something that's very powerful. Your life can actually transform. It can actually change, and you can actually go out into the world and create and manifest your dream life, but also go out and help people do the same thing. And that's really where the spice of life is. When you can help somebody else achieve the same results that you've achieved or even better. And that will light you up inside in ways that just simply getting that thing that you want can't, right? There's limitations to us getting a selfish desire, but there is something incredible that you can only experience until you've done it by contributing outside of yourself. When there's something that you've done for somebody else that changes that person's life, Think about that. When you change somebody else's life, that's an eternal thing. Money comes and goes. Relationships come and goes. Material possessions come and go. You change somebody's life, that person will remember the thing that you did for them forever. That has an eternal ripple effect, right? So this is how we can, become the change we want to see in the world, for one. And two, this is how we can benefit and serve the collective in an empowering and powerful way, where the collective will start to see that spirituality isn't bullshit, it's not woo-woo, and that it actually is powerful and transformational. But we have to show the world that it's powerful by showing them our power and not showing them our powerlessness, right? Just like all the other systems in the world, right? The reason that more and more people are moving away from religion is because they realize that it didn't do anything. It's not doing anything for them. It doesn't change anybody's life. It just keeps people stuck, or keeps people in fear, or it creates limitations, right? People's lives aren't that so much better because of religion. And I'm just using an example because it's a background that I come from. And in a lot of cases, one person in that environment benefits where other people don't, right? You have pastors and preachers and all these other people who are basically ripping people off because essentially, they're creating a group or a mass of followers to believe their doctrines. They get paid for it. And all these people down here, their lives don't change, right? Kind of messed up a little bit. But we'll leave that there. We'll leave that one alone. We'll leave that there. I think I've said enough. Listen, I appreciate you guys. If you watched this video this far, keep your eyes open for some more videos, more content. I should be uploading some more fairly soon. And yes, I will also continue to provide predictive type readings from time to time. So, I'm going to try to do a balance of both. You'll get, informative types of videos like these, or ones that I pull from my live readings. And then of course, when I feel inspired or feel led to do so, I will be uploading, videos that, that are predictive, because there is a benefit to that. We just shouldn't be only focused on that. All right. So thank you guys again. And I will see you guys very soon. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.